about God and invite them to come to church with me. You know, I had a fire for God. And it seemed like as I got really close with God, as God really began to work into my life, something happened and it changed. I went away to college. My freshman year, I went away to University of New Haven in Connecticut. It was pretty far from home, but you know, I was doing all right. I was still reading my word. I was praying. But because I was so far from Hope Center, I didn't go to church. On Sundays, I would just kind of do my own thing. That was my day to do laundry and catch up on whatever I needed to catch up on. Now, my roommates knew I was Christian, but because they knew I was Christian, they persistently tried to drag me into their world. And it wasn't like they tried to make me do anything crazy. It started with the little things. Like I remember at first, you know, they would just try to get me to curse here and there, you know, because cursing is not as bad, you know. Then they would just try to get me to listen to music with them. Everybody listens to music, so what's wrong with listening to music? That's what I thought. And I noticed as I began to listen to their music, slowly and slowly, I began to read my word less, and I began to read the Bible less. And then, the next thing I knew, I was singing the words to these songs. And it didn't seem like a big thing to me, you know, I was just singing the words to these songs. It was catchy. It doesn't matter, you know, just singing the words to these songs. And then, about a month or so into school, I was going through a rough time. I had just broke things off with a girl, and I felt a bit empty. So I sat with my roommates, and I told them about it. I was like, you know, I'm going through a rough time, I'm just feeling a bit empty, I don't know what to do. They're like, you know, you should come out clubbing with us, you know. We do it all the time. I see them do it. They're like, you know, it'll help you get over it. So sure enough, you know, I was like, all right, I'll give it a try. I went out drinking and clubbing with them. But then the next day, I still felt that hole in my life. So I was like, you know what? Maybe I should do it again. So I started clubbing and drinking more. Before I knew it, I was going out 3 days in a row. Like, it didn't faze me. I was a party animal. Any party, I was there. And then, my sophomore year, things changed. I suffered a severe injury. I tore my left ACL playing football. I remember I caught an interception, and I was running it back, and I had one man left to beat. And as I went to juke him, I tore my ACL. It was stuck in the turf. So that winter break, I spent the whole month in my bed with a machine hooked up to my leg, experiencing excruciating pain with nothing but my Xbox and my laptop. No one came to see me. I was just there all day. Everyone was in school, my parents were at work, and I would just sit there all day going through pain. And I would pray to God, God, why me? What did I ever do to deserve this? What could I have done that is so wrong that I had to go through this pain? And the worst part was, as soon as my knee was healed, as soon as I could walk or run a little bit, sure enough, I was out with my friends, partying and drinking as if it never happened. And so, I wondered, I still had that empty feeling inside, I wasn't sure what to do. So I transferred schools to St. John's University here in Queens, New York. I thought maybe I just need a change of scenery, maybe I just need a fresh start. So I transferred to St. John's in the middle of the school year, and because I transferred in the middle of the school year, everyone already had like their circle of friends, their cliques. So once again, I found myself alone. I even joined a fraternity, thinking that would fill that void in my life, but I actually found myself more alone than I ever was. So I turned to smoking. I would smoke every now and then, before I knew it, I was getting high all the time, just trying to run away from my problems, the problems I had at home, problems I had at school, things I couldn't deal with. Just trying to get that peace of mind. Even if it was only for a few hours, at least I knew I was at peace. But then a few hours later, I still had to deal with the same problems. All I did was postpone it. So then, things changed. And that went on for a little while. This summer, I got a job in the South Bronx. Now, for anyone who's been to the South Bronx, they know it's no joke. The South Bronx is good. I mean, there were girls there I was afraid of. So, I met a coworker of mine who was attractive, and she had mentioned she was Christian. So, we became closer friends, and after work, we would spend time together, you know, just talking. And slowly, I found myself actually beginning to like this girl. But it always felt like as soon as I would get closer to her, or as soon as she felt that she actually liked me, she would push away or run away from those feelings or turn her face. And sometimes I felt as if she was being cold-hearted to me in a way. Sorry. Then she invited me to go to her church. Now, I don't know what it was. I don't know if maybe because I was born in Hope Center and everyone knew me, that I was comfortable here. But when I went to her church, God really spoke to me. He broke me and he told me that I had to let everything go. He told me I had to let her go, I had to let everything go. And I've never done that before. And so for God to tell me I had to let everything go, it really broke me. I was clubbing, I was partying, I was drinking, and I was smoking, all to try to fill this void in my life that can only be filled with God. No matter how much I would try to drink the pain away, the next day it would still be there. That's right. So, this is from the song that really broke me. At first I was just going to read it, but it doesn't have the same emphasis unless I sing it. So bear with me. Yeah. Well, the past is past, and gotta know every feeling I've ever felt for her. You feel that way for me. Every I miss you, every I love you, every I can't wait to hear your voice. Every sweet, sweet morning, every won't you come closer, every I've got to have you, and every don't push me away, every I wanna hold you, you hold me together, you hold me, you hold me, you hold me, you hold me together. Well, the past is past. Yes, the past is past. Well, the past is past. You gotta know every feeling I've ever felt for her. You feel that way for me. How many times has God tried to speak to you? The one thing I want to know is how many times has God tried to speak to you personally? How many times has God gotten close to you that you've pushed away from Him? You've turned away from God. You felt that you were getting away from God, but it was just too much. There was something you just weren't ready to give up. How many times has God told you that and you weren't ready to let go? Don't wait for something drastic to happen for you to turn your life to God. Football was my thing. Everyone around me thought that I was going to blow up, you know, I was the next person for the United States to make it for football. And God took that, I took it away from myself, because God had a greater plan for my life. God has something great planned for everyone's life here. You just have to let Him in. Amen. What hole in your life are you trying to fill with partying, smoking, clubbing? Maybe it could be some boy, maybe it could be some girl that you're trying to fill, but that void can only be filled with God. I know that I spent way too much of my life trying to run from what God had for me. And personally, I'm through running. You can't dibble and dabble in the world. You can't have one foot in and one foot out. God doesn't want just some of you. He wants all of you. I decided to follow God with my whole heart, and it's been the best decision I've ever made. And I want to know who's going to make that decision with me.
Amen. Amen.